The armed forces of Ukraine will soon enter Crimea. Budanov told what to expect from the war in the near future. It won't be long until Crimea is liberated from the occupiers. It will happen soon. As for the Wagner in Belarus, they do not pose a particular danger to the Ukrainian defense forces. This was stated by the head of the State Intelligence Service of Ukraine of the Ministry of Defense, Kyrylo Budanov, in commentary to TASS TV channel. The head of the Ukrainian military intelligence assessed the situation in the war. When asked when Ukrainian troops would enter Crimea, Budanov of course did not name the exact date of the peninsula's deoccupation. He simply answered briefly and clearly: soon. Kyrylo Budanov also commented on the threat from Belarus. He called it unrealistic and assured that the location of the Wagner militants on the territory of Russian satellite does not threaten the Ukrainian defense forces at all. Commenting on the strengthening of the reserves of the Russian occupation forces, Budanov said that there was no quantitative increase in enemy forces. There are as many of them as there were, but constant mobilization allows us to constantly replenish their losses, explained the intelligence chief. As a reminder, Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov called the destruction of the enemy's logistic routes, the Crimean Bridge, a normal tactic and said that Ukraine would continue to strike the Crimean Bridge. The defense minister emphasized that disabling the illegal crossing would reduce the combat capability of the Russian occupiers and help save Ukrainian lives. US General Ben Hodges also said that Ukraine is on the way to liberating Crimea. According to him, the main phase of the counter-offensive of the armed forces of Ukraine has not yet begun, but the defenders of Ukraine are already on the way to expelling the occupiers from their territories. In the course of successful battles, Russia will be forced to retreat, including from Crimea. Earlier, Kyrylo Budanov said that Ukrainian intelligence officers can match the Israel Mossad. According to him, Kyiv does not need to create a special structure to destroy the enemies of the Ukrainian state, as it already exists. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence also said that Russia is on the verge of a civil war. According to him, the military rebellion of the Wagner mercenaries, which was doubted of a failed coup attempt, Russia is still facing a civil war, and there is already much evidence that the society of the aggressor country is divided. The armed forces of Ukraine destroyed 2 companies of Russians on one of the directions. Where exactly are the military breaking through the enemy's defense? In the Tavria sector, the armed forces of Ukraine are driving the enemy out and having some success. Within 24 hours, Ukrainian troops destroyed more than 2 companies of Russians in this section of the front. This was reported by the commander of the Tavria Operational and Strategic Group of Troops, Alexander Tarnvansky. According to him, artillery units of the Tavria Defense Forces completed 100 firing missions over the last day. Over the last day, enemy losses in killed and wounded amounted to more than 2 companies, the commander noted. Moreover, 19 units of enemy military equipment were turned into scrap. 8 enemy ammunition depots were also destroyed. To recap, Ukrainian defenders managed to liberate the village of Staromayorsk in the Donetsk region, ahead as a stronghold of the Russian military in the Berdyansk direction. At the same time, Russia has stopped up its efforts to misinform the audience about the course of Ukrainian counteroffensive. Propagandists intend to portray it as a failed military operation. Mining of Ukraine. Russians are increasing the area of mine terroring in the occupied territory. The further Ukrainian troops advance during the counteroffensive, the more mined the territory becomes. Klimenko said this during a telethon. We understand that the more the enemy is on a particular territory, the greater the density of mines. From 2 to 4 mines per square meter is what we have now in the areas where we are conducting offensive actions. That's why we are advancing slowly. We have to protect our people and equipment, said Klimenko. According to him, the sappers have already removed 500,000 explosive items from the ground.